Welcome along, everybody, to stage 13, live in Valkenswaard at the Longines Tops International Arena. This is Global Champions League Day. This is GCTV. And my name is Mark Lewis on a beautiful sunny afternoon in the south of the Netherlands as we prepare for this final stretch of the 2024 season. With Valkenswaard, Rome and Rabat left, that is all the time remaining for these teams to try and get into the top four, to try and survive, to try and get into that championship fight. All of these details will be discussed and unpacked for you a little bit later on today. The Istanbul Warriors, powered by Carpe Diem Equestrian Team, shocked everyone by winning the stage in London last weekend. And the Kunststars, powered by the Iron Dames, continue to dominate the championship. They lead by 22 points. What do the Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M We Love Horses, need to do to try and reel them in? We will give you all of those details a little bit later on today as well. We are set for a jam-packed afternoon in Valkenswaard. The team is ready, but most importantly, live from the famous Spider here at the Longines Tops International Arena. Let's go to Rosie Turner to give us a little more perspective of just how fascinating this entire showground is.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. We are here, as you said, at the Longines Tops International Arena, and what a place to be and what a way to enter this fantastic event and this fantastic facility. We are currently on the wooden walkway, and I know that Jan built this so that there's a real flow for everyone, a really easy way to get in, but more importantly, what a view we have from up here, because over here we have the warm-up arenas. Now, there are two warm-up arenas at the moment that you can see, and as you can see already, horses and riders starting to warm up for the class ahead. If we then look over to the other side of the bridge, we also have the sand arena. Now, this is one of the many arenas we have here at this event. This is the sand arena. You can see a few of the riders starting to walk their course for their event as well. That's not where we are going to be for GCL, though. We'll show you that in a second. But let's walk in to the facilities. Now, this behind me, this incredible building, a real amazing architecture as well, is called the Spider. It does look like a spider, hence the name. If we walk in here, and we'll have to be a little bit quiet because this is where everyone is. This is where it all happens. We've got so everyone here in the building to help the event go as smoothly as possible. But as we go outside of this door, this is the VIP walkway. So this is where they come to go into their VIP lounge. And here we have the most stunning view. This is the grass arena. This is where the action is going to take place today. The course has been built. It is looking fantastic. And as currently the sun is shining, it's a little bit windy, but let's hope this weather stays, because what a fantastic competition we've got ahead of us.
Thank you very much, Rosie Turner. That is some great behind-the-scenes access. And in fact, where Rosie was, we are just a few flights up, higher up here in the Spider, given, as you can see behind us here, this fantastic view as the course-walk now officially opens up. The bell just a moment ago ringing, and the riders now beginning to flood into the grass arena and will now begin their course-walk. I also have a bit of a surprise for you for course-walk. That's coming up a little bit later on. We'll get to that in the show momentarily as the wind causes a little bit of havoc this high up. We'll deal with that as well. My papers will survive, the pens will survive, as you and I get ready for today's Global Champions League Round 1 action. Let's take a moment to flash back to London, to go back to last week, to the previous stage, and remind you of that very, very impressive win for the Istanbul Warriors, powered by Carpe Diem Equestrian Team.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to London. Malin Meyer-Johnson. Oh, and a little bit of a scary moment there. And that is a real gun. And so it's 8 penalties for Malin and for Indiana. Philippe Aerts, Katanga. Here they go. There's Philippe Aerts, there's the finish. He jumps. Double clear here. Can stars come in? That's gone. It's no drama. It's not over just yet. And there it's gone. And they are 0.6.5 behind Stockholm Hearts. The Istanbul Warriors, Stroman and Long John, times on their side. Final fence to jump. And clear in time, 75-70. Geraldine Stroman jumps clear. Dasha Lugard-Lille with Primavera. That's a rattle as well, that's down. The Warriors still in the lead. And here come Valkenswaard United. On... Oh, that's gone. And Istanbul Warriors have won the stage here. Istanbul Warriors are officially stage winners in the Global Champions League.
I cannot describe it. It's just amazing, the whole team effort. It's amazing, the venue, the crowds, everything, the organization. It's amazing to be here.
A first ever stage win for them, and we spoke to FECI later on that afternoon, and he said to us that the team's goal is still to finish inside the top 5 over the overall rankings. Ambitious and bold, but we like the ambitious and the bold prediction. However, they will still need quite a few positive results to try and etch themselves a little bit higher up to try and hit that goal. What now is the impact of that London stage on the overall rankings? We're going to show you a slightly different looking table today, because as you get to this part of the season, the conversation begins to change ever so slightly. Let's show you then those overall rankings and give you some perspective on what the bottom half of the table looks like. Now, what you might also recognize is that those teams seem to be slightly darker in complexion, from Monaco Aces up to the Istanbul Warriors, powered by Carpe Diem Equestrian Team. Now, we have done that purposefully, because not only are we showing you the current overall rankings after leg 13, but we are also starting to eliminate championship contenders. Because as we now move into the top half of the table, what you'll begin to learn is that those teams that are grayed out, from Monaco up to Istanbul, including the Rome Gladiators, who are grayed out, cannot win the championship regardless of what happens from here on in to the end of the Rabat stage. From now, from this point going forward, only those teams in white, from the Prague Lions up to the Cannes Stars, can possibly become overall Global Champions League winners. And as we go through Valkenswaard into Rome and into Rabat, you can imagine that more of those teams are going to be grayed out until eventually we will have only one team standing and only one championship winner. Of course, now the Cannes Stars, powered by the Iron Dames, the Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M We Love Horses, are the two front-running teams. But for the rest of them below, there is still a probability that with a lot going their way, that they can be crowned champions. However, if the Stockholm Hearts are to somehow overtake the Cannes Stars, let's try and explain to you what is needed. The Stockholm Hearts are separated by 22 points. With only 3 stages left, if you do the mathematics, they need to make up 8 points per stage. Now, how do the Stockholm Hearts chase the leaders and make up 8 points per stage? Well, if the Stockholm Hearts finish in those positions, that is what the Cannes Stars are allowed to do on the other side. If Stockholm Hearts finish first, Cannes Stars cannot finish higher than 3rd. If the Stockholm Hearts finish 2nd here in Valkenswaard today, the Cannes Stars cannot finish higher than 5th. This is to make up the 8 points per stage needed for Stockholm to chase and catch the leader. If Stockholm Hearts do not have a very good day and finish in 7th place, Cannes Stars cannot finish lower than 14th, and that will then stop them from getting those 8 points per stage for the Stockholm Hearts to chase the leader down. 22 points over 3 stages, 8 points per stage. That is what Stockholm need to do to try and reel the Cannes Stars, powered by the Iron Dames, in. Speaking of the Cannes Stars, we have to catch up with Stefano Nogara, the trainer, the manager of this team, to try and get some perspective from him on what is lined up for today and how the team is feeling about this championship race. Let's hear from Mr. Nogara.
Well, Stefano, the team manager of Cannes Stars, powered by Iron Dames, and what a team they have been. First of all, what has your experience been like managing this team this season?
Okay, I think it's a really, really important opportunity, but I think it's really important. First question is I have a really amazing team, and then we have a possibility to support really good, I think, all the riders. That's really important. I'm so happy that opportunity, because it's a really good satisfaction at the moment.
They've had a sensational season so far and are flying at the top of the championships at the moment. What has it been like coaching them and looking after that team that are doing so well?
First, I think we start with one really good project, really good program, and then I think the secret is stay all the time, step by step. All the time we have a nice. When we talk with all the rider, it's really important what is the feeling with the horses, the organization, the program. For me, this is really important. We start like that, and I think for the team it's really important.
The team always seem very cool and very calm, but behind the scenes, away from the camera, just how determined are they? 6
riders, 6 women, 6 queen. So, okay, this all the time is like every ride is completely different, and then it's my job to try to have a nice rapport and then stay there when she need, when he need, and then okay, I try my best, of course, to have a nice rapport.
Can they do it? Can they be the champions realistically this season?
We wait. At the moment, we are really happy, and then we try to continue like that with a really good concentration, and then try the good strategy all the time, and then we are happy at the moment.
Tell us about the team for this weekend. Who have you got here? How strong is it?
I think it's not. Okay, I think it's really good. It's really good. Not because we have a new horses in. Okay, and then we will see. But I decide everything today when I see all the horses. We have two new horses in this competition, and then after the competition today we decided for tomorrow.
Very good luck.
Thank you so much.
Stefano Nagaro giving us some thoughts, giving us some reaction as to how the Canstars, powered by the Iron Dames, are going to shape up today. He mentions some of the younger horses. Sophie Hinner's first in the team with Special Life. Jana Fredrika Maya Zimmerman in for the team in second on Cornella, a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old. Perhaps a little bit of experimenting from the Canstars in GCL round 1. They know they have a handsome lead at the top of the championship, but don't be surprised if and when we see more familiar horse names coming in for the second round of Global Champions League round 2. If that is the championship fight between the Stockholm Hearts and the Canstars, what is that top 4 fight looking like? Because we know from Valkenswaard all the way to the end of Rabat, there are crucial positions up for grabs come the GC playoffs in Riyadh at the end of the year. We remind you that only the top 4 teams make it into the GCL Super Cup semi-final. They get the night off on the quarterfinals. They get to watch the round from the VIP. Their horses get an extra night's worth of rest. It is crucial, super important for those teams to get into the top 4. So why not then open up that can of worms? Let's talk top 4 fight. So what we have been able to do is from Doha all the way through to London, the previous stage, we have been able to map the position of those teams that have been fighting for a top 4 placement. From the stage, for the very first stage of the competition, all the way through to last week in London, as I said. Let's give you some perspective on how the teams have developed from the start of the season as to where we are now, and just how intense that battle has been for the teams fighting for top 4. Canstars, of course, have always been in and around. Prague Lions did well in Mexico and Miami. They were high up. Then they fell down. Stockholm Hearts taking the lead over. Doha Falcons coming into the mix. Razorback International there and thereabouts. Valkenswaard United now entering the fight as well. Moving above Prague Lions as to where we find ourselves now after London. That is what the top 4 fight looks like coming in to Valkenswaard. So we need a bit of perspective on just how that graphic has developed over the last couple of months and as to where we find ourselves now. And I promised you a bit of a surprise today, and here is my surprise. My handsome Belgium co-presenter joins us live in studio. Frederik de Backer, how wonderful to have you on site, to have you back at the fantastic Longines Tops International Arena. This is a wonderful surprise for us. I know you are happy to have your feet on the grass here at the ring. Welcome back. We have missed you, my friend. niceties aside, let's talk top four. Let's talk the crucial importance of today and the next three stages. Let's talk about who is knocking on the door, who is in. Frederik de Backer, the floor is yours. Top four is certainly heating up, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it absolutely is, Mark. When you said about the beautiful Belgian, I thought you were talking about Peter de Vos, who was just behind me. He's, by the way, part of that top four battle with Prague Lions. I mean, there's 4 teams in that race, Mark, and it's really, really intense. Prague Lions, a point behind Valkenswaard United. Prague Lions themselves, only 7 points behind Riesenbeck International. Riesenbeck just a few points behind on Doha Falcons, and Valkenswaard is also in that group. If you look at the spread that we have there for those 4 places, the 4 places split by 9 points, and only 2 places that really matter, 3rd and 4th, of course. Doha Falcons in the most favorable position. They've got the biggest lead on the Prague Lions, but only 2 points in front of Riesenbeck. For those next 3 or 4 stages, it is every time a final for these teams battling for top 4. What do they actually need, Mark? Well, they actually need podium finishes. It starts with having podium finishes and then hoping that one of the other team doesn't perform well at the same stage. That's how you can make the difference. We've talked a lot already about getting teams in between yourself and your rivaling teams. That is going to be crucial throughout this day as well. But teams that do not make a podium here in Rome or in Rabat are not going to make it into the top 4 at the end of the stage in Rabat if other teams do so. So you have to perform well and you have to hope that other teams don't. Basically, who blinks first, who drops the ball first, that team is going to be out.
I like that. Every stage is considered a final, and now the question becomes who blinks first. And Frederik, just to reiterate your point, the gap from Doha to Prague makes this very, very exciting, and it really does put the pressure on those teams that are below Stockholm and Kanstas.
Yeah, absolutely. Valkenswaard and Prague just a point apart. Whichever team finishes in front of the other will take that place again. So Valkenswaard is not safe. And you can't say that any team is safe. In fairness, I can't imagine that Doha at this moment are looking up at the top 2 with Kansstars and with Stockholm Hearts. I think they're looking down to keep Riesenbeck behind them, to keep Valkenswaard behind them, and to keep Prague Lions behind them. That's what this whole afternoon is going to be about. And imagine, Mark, that if all those teams do really well and just mix and swap places around, this story will just get carried into Circo Massimo and maybe even into Morocco and into Rabat. It's all about which team drops the ball first.
Yeah, and those horse selections become so crucial. A couple bad rounds, you may well blow it immediately. Frederik de Backer, thank you very much. We'll come back to you in a few moments' time. He is in the wonderful grass ring here at the Longines Tops International Arena. We'll be coming to him for the course walk in a few moments. But he mentioned one of those teams that are in the mix there. Valkenswaard United, very much in that top 4 conversation. And we are here on their doorstep, in their home ground. So why not take a moment to sit down with the team. Rosie Turner sitting down with the entire Valkenswaard United team. Let's go over to learn more from the riders in blue.
Hi team, welcome to Valkenswaard. In fact, I was going to say welcome, but this is very much you welcoming us because this is your home stage. Edwina, I want to start with you because we're actually at your home as well. How special is that?
This is the place where the Global Tour started. This was the first event. This is the roots of the tour. This is where Jan invented everything. And yeah, it's incredible because if I see how much it's grown since then and I think what this show and plus all the other shows that we have at this venue have created, it's incredible.
Edwina, is this where you were hoping to be at in the season?
Not really, no. I mean, I think we should be doing a lot better, to be honest.
We want to be under the first 4 at least. There's still a bit of work to do, and here's the next step where we can get a step higher, and there's really pressure behind. Otherwise, Jan will not be happy with us.
Yes, correct.
Talking of the top 4 then, there is that battle, but you're really not very far behind. You're currently lying in 5th. I think you're 6 points behind Riesenbeck International at the moment. Is this the weekend, Oliver, that everything's going to change? Is this the team that's going to take you into that top 4?
Of course, every competition we come into, we plan and approach it like we're going to win it. Especially being a home ground, you want to, we have. It's not only you're seeing sort of 3 or 6 riders, but there's such a big village of us behind. There's physios, grooms, owners, vets. So it's pretty nice when we're on a home ground. A lot of them can come and join in.
Who do you see as your biggest threat that might stop you getting into that top 4?
I think we don't even focus on the other teams. We just focus on ourselves. And in the end, if we do the best we can do, we know we have the horsepower, we have the riders. So we're going to be, to be honest, on the podium if we have everything together. And then it's up to the other teams to catch us, and that's a bit the.
I mean, the Iron Downs are pretty impressive, I have to say. They're amazing.
They're going to be struggling.
Of course, because it's full of women, right? So
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
an amazing. No, but they've been very, very consistent, extremely focused. They're going to be the ones to beat.
These riders all experience, and if you see like Riesenberg International, they were outstanding last year. They won the all over. They won the final. At the moment, they are only 4th. This year, so far, the Iron Dames, they are amazing. So hopefully, end of the season, it's Valkenswaard United.
Well, someone on your team who is so well known is obviously John Whittaker, and then you've got the likes of Gilles Thomas. Does that help in any way to have someone like John, and obviously yourselves, but someone like John and then a younger rider like Gilles, and you can take something from each other?
I think it's fantastic because if you've seen how Gilles has grown into the sport and now he's competed with one of the icons of our sport, and the other day Jan picked him instead of me. That's all fine. It's how it is, you know.
Jan didn't get dinner that night.
Yes, so no, but that's how it is, and we have to do the best for the team. And we're so fortunate to have John there because he always puts his foot forward and he's always so solid. And but to have these young and up-and-coming riders that the tour can provide for them as a sport and for them to build their career. If we see this, it's incredible with a lot of the riders. It's great to watch those two together.
Last question then. Are you going to be on top of the podium this weekend in Valkenswaard?
If they are riding
Confidence,
for
guys, confidence.
We're going to try our best for sure, We have to fight hard this weekend, yeah. We have Jan there, so.
You have to do it well.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Yep.
Some lovely insight from Valkenswaard United. They will be the last team out just before the break. Oliver Lazarus and Edwina Tops-Alexander will be jumping round 1. You'd imagine Marcus Enning will indeed come in for GCL round 2. Fredrik de Backer, let's come back to you. Let's talk startlist. Let's talk about where Valkenswaard United and the rest of the teams find themselves. Who are we keeping an eye on? And based on what you've seen, let's talk about who we should be keeping our eye on for this opening round.
Well, it's going to be a very interesting start of this first round, Mark, because first team to go, Prague Lions, as we said, top 4 contenders. Second team to go, Doha Falcons, also in that race. Third team to go, Stockholm Heart. So we're going to already get a lot of information very early in this 13th stage of Global Champions League. So a fierce start of the competition. Then what you have to say is that there's not really a standout team in my opinion. You've got a lot of teams with second string horses that haven't jumped that many clears. So we don't have a standout team just yet, so I don't dare to pick the favorite for this first round, and that's going to make stuff very, very exciting. Every step of the way we're going to be maybe surprised, maybe disappointed, but I can't pick the favorite. So it's actually those teams with the late draw, and I'm thinking of Riesenberg, I'm thinking of Valkenswaard. Those teams with the late draw, they really have the advantage in this first round of Global Champions League.
It is going to be tight. It is going to be competitive. And that Tops International Auction fence, Fredrik de Backer, I cannot wait to come back to that for Course-Walk. That looks beautiful. I am very excited to get more details on that. The start list from Fredrik de Backer. We'll come back to him for Course-Walk in a few moments' time. I get very excited by new fences like that. And the Tops International Auction, that takes place next month. More on that, of course, a little bit later on. Hopefully, we try to give some more detail. However, Fredrik de Backer spoke about Prague Lions, powered by the Czech equestrian team. First team out the gate, Fernando Martinez Sommer and Peter de Vos starting for the team. Let's catch up with Peter de Vos about one of the top 4 contending teams, how the Prague Lions feel ahead of today's round 1.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. It is Prague Lions that we're going to be talking about, and Peter de Vos alongside me now to talk about the team this weekend. First of all, it's good to be back here in Valkenswaard. How are you feeling ahead of it?
Feeling very good. sun is shining, very nice arena. So, and I think we're heading here with a good team. So,
well, it's you and Fernando for round one. You jumped Yarina yesterday. How did she feel?
I must say I jumped only Jarina, which I'm going to ride in the first round, and she felt good. She was comfortable and fresh. So she jumped also in London, and she came here, but she's still fresh. So I think good to go.
It's a different arena as well to London, much bigger and a grass arena. Does that affect her? What does she prefer?
I think she's available in all kind of rings, but let's say I like her on the grass on a big ring, and she did also well here a few weeks ago. So I think she will be good here.
Well, the big topic this weekend is, of course, getting into that top 4. Prague Lions are not that far away. You can still make it happen. How are you going to reach that? You've got some really competitive teams above you. What are you going to pull out the bag today?
Yeah, we have to pull out clear rounds. That's all. But it's easier said than done, of course. Curious what he's going to build, of course, this Heiner today. But we are here with a good team, with I think good horses. So yeah, we know it's very important. We know there's still a possibility to get in the top 4, which is very important. And we came here. We did some last minute changement in horses to be really ready here for doing a good result.
Who did you change?
I was supposed to ride another horse in the first round with less experience, but then we decided to take Yarina. Anyway, she jumped in London, but she felt still fresh on Monday, so I decided to bring her instead of the unexperienced one.
Yeah, so the team are really thinking this is the weekend. So I'll let you off. I know Peters have not been that well at the moment, but I know you'll be fighting fit for the course today, and it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I hope so. Let's hope.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Lady and Yarina will be coming out for the Prague Lions first out the gates, powered by the Czech equestrian team as they continue their pursuit for a top 4 finish. Let's go back to Fredrik de Backer for one final time. Fredrik, welcome back. As we mentioned, let's talk about the course, this massive ring that Uliana Verzani has to play with. What has he designed today for GCL round 1?
So, absolutely right, Mark. It's a vast and open ring, and that's why I wanted to start this course walk just at fence number 7. This is a little bit odd. We know this fence is the gate of Staltops, but why do I want to show this? Well, this 1, 2 meter long rails, the rest 3.5, 4 meters, short rails, a little bit difficult for the horses to zoom in on. Lots of focus here on the board, could get a little bit tricky. Then followed by a rollback, and we get into the very delicate part of this course. This is the Longines clock, jump over it. When I walked it, I thought, oh, you have to be careful, you have to be precise, go on the outside and maybe aim for an 8th stride. And if I speak to the riders, they all say, no, you'll get plenty of stride on this ring, especially at the end of the course, you'll get here on 7. The 7 are a touch on the inside, and so I wonder if you will be able to get straight. But just look at this, Mark. I'll just type it again. 1, 2, 3, that's 3.5, so that's a meter and a half longer than the fence that we spoke of there at Staltops. Triple combination, quite a lot of color, so I do expect this triple combination to jump well if you can get in nice and straight. 2 strides coming out of it, then it's actually 6 there up to the Global Champions Gate. And I don't know if you can see this over my shoulder, but I don't see the back rail. So you don't see the back rail. That's a very, very square oxer. Henrik van Eckermann, as always, one of the last men on course, just walking their final line once more. Just want to show you the rollback. It's going to be one of the crucial points of this course, I think, Mark, is the rollbacks. A lot of long loops, and you have so much space.
Thank you very much. That's the course walk. Rosie's standing by with
11,
Jerome.
That's a long.
We don't even have to then... Social media is not a crazy...
It's the tallest vertical. The course, and coming out of the toe, you have to get this right. If you jump it on the angle, it'll throw you on the inside line. If you jump it straight, you're on the midline, and if you go a little bit wider, you jump out of the line, and that'll mess up your approach to the widest oxer. We've got a little bit of time left, so we're going to run over to that final fence, and Verzani, he just wants to make sure that the horses keep their balance, that the riders keep their focus, and that everybody is doing exactly what they have to do to jump this clear. So think about the vertical that you could jump over there, and I think it's, do I have it right? Yeah, 8 strides. 8 strides to the final fence. we've been now 13 stages on the road together. These pink colors jump very difficult. The Liverpool is at the landing side, or at the center part, so lots of distraction there. And if we just get in between this oxen, yeah, it's not Grand Prix level just yet, but this is meter 55, just on the meter 60, meter 55 width on this fence 12. Not the longest course, only 12 fences. We've had 13, 14 in the past as well, only 12 years, so not the longest, but I am next to the technicalities and the delicacy of the material, think of fence 7, I am a little bit concerned about those long loops, the loop from 10 to 11, the loop from 5 to 6, the loop from 2 to 3, the loop from 7 to 8. All these rollbacks on this vast open ring allow so much space for the riders to take and to use that it could also land outside the time allowed. So next to technicalities and fences, also look out for the time allowed, Mark.
All right, Frederik de Backer, thank you very much. A lot of questions, as we've come to expect from Uliana Vidzani, trying to challenge the riders through each and every part of this massive grass arena that he has designed once again for Global Champions League Round 1 later today. GCL Round 2 to come a little bit later. We'll get some updates and some new thoughts and ideas there later on. Let's get some reaction from some of the riders as to how they feel about what Frederik de Backer has just walked for us. Once again, Rosie Turner standing by for us. Doha Falcons, Jérôme Guéry standing by to walk a line and give us some thoughts. Rosie?
Yeah, thank you, Mark. It is time to talk about the course, and alongside me is Jérôme Guéry, all for the Doha Falcons, And this course, you were telling me, actually it looks pretty fair.
Yeah, it's true. It's the first round of the team, then it looks quite fair for the horses, but we never know what can come quicker. Just this line is a little bit typical. You have a triple. The triple, it's 3 jumps consecutive for the horses, only 1 stride or 2 stride between the jumps. And after we have, I think, 6 stride, but we will walk the course, the line to be sure. And we have a massive walk there in direction of the outside arena. That's yeah, it's nice class, but we see how it's walk.
Well, let's walk this together. When you're walking it, tell me what you're thinking.
Yeah, okay. Then I count how many steps. I cannot do the most.
You count, I'll talk.
I count and I talk.
So Jérôme is now counting the steps. Every 4 steps is 1 horse's stride. And as you can see, the riders really have to pace these steps because, of course, one of our small steps isn't quite the right amount.
Then here there is 6 strides, and that's 6 steps for the horse. Then it's a normal distance. Just after a triple, and often when it's a vertical is one plan, the horse take a little bit distance. That's for some horses it will be a little bit short. And also you go to the exit, then the horse takes a little bit distance when he go in direction of the exit. Then after you have a last turn and the last line. That's it's a little bit technical this line, but normally he will walk for level of my horse.
And also, like you said, when you're going to the exit, then you've got to turn your horse away from the exit. But Jérôme, like you said, this is actually a pretty fair course for round 1, and we wish you the very best of luck for you and the team.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Jérôme Guéry for the Doha Falcons. In fact, they'll be out very early as well. We talk about Prague Lions being first to go, while the Doha Falcons are second to go. And isn't it rather interesting and perhaps quite humorous how very often we see the case there with Rosie? The riders struggle to do the talking whilst they're doing the walking. So technical and so precise do those steps need to be that having a conversation with Rosie on the side needs to take a back step. But that's why we have her to help us guide and bridge that gap between the riders walking the line and giving us some thoughts. Now, a newcomer to the league, Zasha Newgard-Lille, created quite a stir in London last week. She comes into the team for the Istanbul Warriors, powered by Carpe Diem equestrian team, jumps superbly and goes on to win the GCL stage. Her first ever showing on the GCL stage, and she goes on to be crowned winner. What an outstanding performance. We took some time to get to know her a little bit better.
Well, alongside me now is a revelation in the Istanbul Warriors, powered by Carpe Diem equestrian team member. It's fantastic to have you on board. Just for people that don't already know, why are you now part of this team so late in the season?
Yeah, good question. Effa, he has an injury in his hand, so I got called in a bit funny time, so I was very surprised, but I'm happy to be here. I'm very excited.
Were you surprised to get that call? I know you said you were surprised, but was it a surprise? You're such a fantastic rider.
It was a surprise. First of all, because of the timing. I didn't think that there was a change in riders now, but obviously with the injury, you have to come up with something. So I got called up and I was thinking, yeah, why now and why me? But Andreas Skov he's my old boss, and I used to work with him, so he put in a good word for me, I think. So it was quite like his idea.
I think you really proved yourself as well in London. Why me? Well, you got the team onto the podium in London and top of the podium. Was that a lot of pressure on your shoulders?
I mean, yeah, in some way yes, and in some way no, because you come in and I didn't really know what to expect about the courses or the people and like the venue. So I was never at the shows before, so I came in like very neutral. So my expectations were just take all in and enjoy everything.
How much of an opportunity is it for you to be part of a team?
It's a very big opportunity to learn something, to get into this new league. You get very excited about the new riders and the venues and the courses, and it's like a different level.
Talk to me then about this weekend, and who have you got here?
I've got Stanley from last week also, from the first round, and then one new horse, Conterno Blue. I feel comfortable with both horses, so Conterno is going to jump the first round, Stanley the second, and I will see for the Grand Prix. So,
in terms of other riders as well in the team, are you both going to be jumping both rounds this weekend?
Yes, I think that's the plan. Olivier Robert is jumping with me 2 rounds, and Hassan is also here, but I think he's going to go for the individual round the first time.
How confident are the team feeling for this weekend?
I think good, yeah, very good. From last win, I think we are confident.
And how nice has it been to be a part of the team? Have they helped you? Have they given you advice? To join a team this late in the season is so unusual. How have they taken to you coming in?
I think very good. Agatha, the wife of Effa, she's welcoming me very good. And Andreas Skov, he's been very supportive. And Geraldine also, like, very nice team.
So Sasha Newgard-Lille and Olivier Robert will jump for the Istanbul Warriors today. And once again, we see that Rule 2.5 coming into effect. If you recall, going back to Mexico, it was that Rule 2.5 that actually brought Richard Vogel in for Riesebeck International. Angelica Augustin Zanotelli being used for Rule 2.5. And now, because of the injury to FECIE, once again, Rule 2.5 that allows a rider to come in if there is a long-term injury to a current rider on the team, allowed to come in and bridge that gap. Sasha Newgard-Lille for the Istanbul Warriors, powered by Carpe Diem equestrian team, coming in and winning the stage in London. What a fantastic late substitution, a late fill-in that has been. And here she is once again in Valkenswaard at the Longines Tops International Arena, getting ready for stage 13 of the Global Champions League. This is GCTV. The sun is shining in the south of the Netherlands. We are ready for today's competition. Make sure you have that GCTV live pass ready and come and join us for all of the action as we get ready for Global Champions League Round 1 live from Valkenswaard. Stay with us here on GCTV for all the action. Very nice, everybody.
Young Brazilian rider. Big day for him. In the background, the colors of the Prague Lions. Kevin Stout as individual. Stout is fairly early to go, 9th as a matter of fact, with the yellow blue, as we'll have a look at the start lists in a minute. It's Jur Vrieling to go first. Jur of the Danish horse Eurofighter. Lynch, Sanatese not on the team. Houtzager, Jochem's home rider. Jochem's already winner yesterday. Antoine Herman could come in for Stockholm. Hearts aiming for Valkenswaard maybe. Still individuals there as we are down to Jean Sadran. And after Jean Sadran at 16 there's the number 17. That is Jane Richard. And as from Fernando Martinez Sommer and Peter de Vos, then we have got the team combinations. Gary and Pende, Springsteen and Philippe Arts. Robert and Newgard-Lille, Fernandez Saro and Macaulay, Tubbs Alexander and Lazarus, neighbors and teammates. Then further down, Inés Joly and De Azevedo, Guerrero and Turturiello. I think that's a last-minute decision there, last-minute change for the Mexico amigos. And then further down, Kühner and Schweitzer and Tovek and Van Eckerman. And just checking there.
Indeed, on the first start list it said Mexico Migos with Carlos Anguerrero on H5 Origi and Eduardo Pereira de Menezes with Hot and Spicy. We'll see and find out what is the thinking behind that. Because I don't see them as individuals either. And so maybe saving that horse for later classes. That could be a possibility. The late change from De Menezes to Turturiello, who jumps this for the first time with a new horse, with Jackal. Turturiello Jackal jumping his first meter 55 class, but that's for later. The south grandstand well filled. The north grandstand filling up nicely as we speak. Plenty of Dutch fans to watch their Dutch heroes, and this is one of the Dutch show jumping heroes. Vreeling gets a Eurofighter in front of his leg and ready for action. There's a Danish bred by Warrant and Pythagoras. And Vreeling shows the gelding the fence at number 7. And that fence at number 7, that is the fence of Staltops. And that is the only fence here that is so small, so narrow, as most fences are 3.5, maybe even 4 meters long, the rails. Here, that Staltops vertical is just 2 meters long, the rails, and that makes it extra difficult for horses and riders, extra light material. First fence, Ace of Spades, Vreeling and Eurofighter. Their off time allowed is 80 seconds. Nine strides to rule, so it's a holding 9 for Vreeling. And roll back, this is twisted around its center axis, that fence 3, and then it's 7 into the double. 2 strides to come out, that's Oxer. Bit of an awkward rollback. You can't come out of your turn too early, and he has it down. Did he come out of his turn too early? 9. And then another 9 strides. Now with 4 penalties reduces the pace. Vreeling in the final sector. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 into the triple. Houses, the Amsterdam houses out of the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to global champions. And another rollback that you need to get spot on right, to make sure you've got the right distance in the final line. Eight strides and he's home on 4, and he's actually just inside the time. 76.933 seconds within the time. That is Jur Vreeling with Eurofighter EP. The Dutchman with the rail at 5 here. I think he also came out of his turn just a touch too early. Should have kept the bend a little bit longer, I think, at least from what I saw from my point of view. And that put Vreeling on his 4 penalties. Lynch goes next as individual, could come in, of course, as a team rider for round 2 for New York Empire. But Mr. Boombastic, he's got Vistogrand here as well. Standard 9 horse with a touch smaller stride than the one of Eurofighter. Seven on the inside. You can start your turn early, but you can't end it early. And Lynch stays nice and wide before finishing his turn and jumps that beautifully. Still unclear. Lynch rolls back. 7 to the triple. It's clear for the time allowed. No issues there. Of 80 seconds. And home, and it's 73-76. Good clear from Dennis Lynch and Mr. Boombastic as individual in this meter 55 speed class. I think there's still some meat on that bone. There's still some margin on that time, but it is a clear for Dennis Lynch and Mr. Boombastic. Dutch rider Sanne comes in with one of the Iron Dame's horses. It is Iron Dame's Kiralanda. All right, an extra stride there, goes there on 10. Tyson. Forward 7 then to the double of Oxers. Good pace. And just the front rail at the gears. Bit of an odd colour there, that gears fence. At fence 8, sorry, at fence 6 and now 7 down as well. Put Sanne on 8. Kiralanda a touch shy maybe through that round, this 9-year-old mare. Ooh, and takes a difficult round. Bit stuck there. And then pulls out of that line. Iron Dame's Kiralanda, VDM and Sanne pull out. And if I recall well, also yesterday, Kiralanda on this open ring, a little bit shy. For Sanne and for Kiralanda. A round of applause from the crowd here. But not their luckiest round. This is that extra stride. It's a 9 and she rode 10. And the thing at the gears, difficult colors as you can see. Dark brown, blackish, industrial would be the right word. Another Dutch hero is Mark Houtzager, and he's on Sterrenhorse Calimero. Very tight, very tight. And by making that turn so tight, he doesn't jump into the line but out of the line, so the 7 get a touch longer. Good reaction. Another very tight turn here from Houtzager, who does make it able to square up for fence 5. He has the holding distance then to fence 6. Extra step here again. He's not leaving out strides, but he's making those rollbacks ultra tight. 73-76 from Houtzager and Calimero. Now to challenge Dennis Lynch. Lynch only clear 73-76. Houtzager with that well-experienced gelding by Kidam de Revel through the combination, and now 1 rollback left. And again, this is tight and on the angle. Good grip out of the turn. And on the inside line, he's much quicker than Dennis Lynch. 69.51 seconds. The difference, more than 4. And Mark Houtzager is the first to go sub 70 seconds. Houtzager has taken the lead, has shown the way for the others with those very tight turns. And then keep in mind that he still added strides in some technical lines. This is a beautiful camera angle. If only the fence would have stayed in the picture, then you had the right reference. But a great rollback here from Houtzager. Every turn he made was spot on. Flawless. Has to be flawless, because there is a strong man to go next. This is yesterday's speed class winner, Flying Jackie with Kevin Jochems. Upright. Oh, first distance to the upright. Risky there, then has to organize himself and adds the stride, I believe, into the double of Oxers. Oh, and another. Yeah, and you make those tight turns, but then you have to add strides because you jump out of the line, you get small jumps. So he can't let the mare fly. Fortunately, she is quick over fences and might be even a touch in front of Mark Houtzager. Takeoff here at 43 seconds. Jochems waits coming into the combination. He was on the inside line. Six, and here he comes again. How tight will this be? Same trajectory as Houtzager. Oh, on a deep stride, nearly no momentum, no pace. 69.51 of Houtzager. Here's Jochems for another lead. Yeah, he's quicker, 68.95. That puts him more than half a second in front of Mark Houtzager. So remarkable that on this big grass ring, the first two places are not occupied by horses with huge strides. No, they're occupied by horse and rider combinations that know each other very well and can make very tight turns confidently. And then next is the opposite type of horse. It is Floyd Desprez with Antoine Herman. This is a more powerful, bigger striding horse. There's a late 9 in the end. For a moment I thought he would see the 8, but they weren't there. See, for him through the center line, the 7 are very steady. And Floyd is on the back rail. Line rolled by Vigo CC, so just like Mr. Bombastic of Dennis Lynch, who had the same, or not the same fence, that was Vrieling who had that fence down. He's on 8 now. The young French Antoine Herman. And Floyd. On 8 and 73.83. Not the same time as Dennis Lynch. But Antoine Herman is a touch slower. And the only one on 8 penalties. He is 5th. We've seen 6. Salatijns has retired. 3 have gone double clear. Kevin Jochems, Mark Houtzager and Dennis Lynch. Ping, it's actually with the front leg at the back rail. Once at the front, once at the back. So in balance. Marcus Eining with the Flower Girl are on course. The Dutchman in first round of GCL, not part of Valkenswaard United. Here with the mare by Olympic champion Hickstead. Oh, and another one that has that back rail. The camera angle perfectly shows that the second oxer is actually not as wide as the first oxer. Oh, and Flower Girl has a look at the gate of Jan Tops and Staltops. Anything could motivate her. Wide turn here in his rollback. Gets nice and straight, not to surprise Flower Girl. And it is 73-82 with 4 penalties. Another one in that group of 73 seconds. That seems to be the comfort zone for plenty of riders at their normal pace. Now it's back leg at the back rail. Opened his left hand, already turning into the turn. Not saying that that is the cause of the rail. Lars Kersten en Boepka van het Marienshof zet. Boepka. By Balou du Rouet en Libero. Sangersheide bred breeders present here in Valkenswaard. Goes wide on his turn to get nice and straight to jump into the line, but Boepka grabs the bit. And I think, I don't know if he had a look at the Liverpool. Who goes there on 8, leaves out strides now. Turns back, right hand bend. Previous rollback was left hand. Front rail now gone. Whoa! Left out of stride again. And he's going to do the same to the last, but he's already on 4 penalties. Yep, 7 strides home. Puts up a good time, 70.55. Lars Kersten and Boepka. The single rail and thus the 4 penalties. For Kersten and Boepka. Competitive run it was. Houtzager, the leader, as we know, not Houtzager, but Kevin Jochems, the leader, in 68.95. Difficult turn. He had to come with a leg, of course, to keep him straight, to get him out of the turn, and then probably too much forward impulse. Stout is going to give this a go with Diallo Blue. Just like Houtzager and Jochems, very tight on the rollback. Diallo Blue by Diarado's boy and Chaco Blue. Nine. And he has the 8 and rolls back and he's clear. And Jochems is 68.95. Rolls back again. And there's the fence, and there's the finish, and there's a 65.89. That is by 3 seconds. Kevin Stout versus Kevin Jochems. And it was Jochems with the tight turns, but the added strides, it was Stout with the tight turns and the leave-outs. And that made all the difference, as Kevin Stout has now taken the lead by 3 seconds over Kevin Jochems, Mark Houtzager, Dennis Lynch, Lars Kersten and Marcus Eining. But some fantastic riding from the top 3. Mariana Frautjes-Chavez and Pedro van der Barlebuis as the second fence down the Roelofsen horse truck upright. An eye for detail is a sign of victory, they say. Uit Roelofsens. Chavez now at 8 after the rollback and the fault on Longines. Finish with time penalties, yeah, 2 for time. That is Mariana Frances Chavez and Pedro van de Parlebuis. The 2 rails and the 3 time penalties. Next in is Michael Duffy with RMF Clinton's son. Marsh Farm own horse. Clinton's son by Clinton Heartbreaker, that is the Corrado Bolensky pedigree. Or at least Silent Dance sire. Oh, nice turn, just over the back rail, but a nice turn. 65.89, he couldn't do the leave-outs the way that Kevin Stout did him. And Kevin Stout really set a sharp time, 65.89. One more rollback. If he jumped it off the angle, could he do the leave-out to the last? And he's there on 8, and it's just over 70 seconds. 71.99 and clear. Michael Duffy with RMF Clinton's son. Duffy and Clinton's son, that is the rollback, and that is the Birch vertical, and that is a bit of luck. Another challenger for the leading time of Kevin Stout is Emanuele Gaudiano, though with this Chalous Love PS, he hasn't had that much experience yet, not that many outings. So the question is, do they know each other well enough to really set the pace and to challenge Stout, Jochems of Houtzager for the top 3. It's actually a Paul Schockemöller horse leading and a Paul Schockemöller horse now challenging, with the breeding mastermind himself present here in Valkenswaard. The rail puts him out of contention. Now, at best, it is 6th with a 70.55 of Lars Kersten, giving 6th place. And here, Gaudiano, I think this is yeah, it's more than a touch wider. And so, keeping it on the 4, but not at the pace of Kersten. There's the finish for the Italian. That makes it 73-76. The rollback, the challenge, the risk, a bit of a drift, and it's exactly the same fault as Lars Kersten, if you think about it. Lars Kersten had the same problem in that turn. Nice shot. Artistic from our cameraman. Hasan Şentürk, the Turk, who is part of the Istanbul Warriors team. The Turk is riding as individual. Warriors who won the stage in London last week. Turk is on Onatella van het Roosakker. By world champion Figo Darsoy and Sandor Zed. The vertical on the tight turn. And now it's 8 as Hasan Şentürk comes into the final line. Will then be put on 8 penalties, not really the final line, it's the final sector, I should say, after that rollback. Here comes the final line. Stout still safe. Clear 65.89, closest to his time 68.95 of Kevin Jochems. Basically 3 seconds between him. Jochems on his turn, half a second faster than Houtsager as Şentürk with Onatella come home with 12 penalties in 77.12. Hasan Şentürk and Onatella van het Roosakker. Three left to go from the individuals. Next is the stallion Darilou, with Harry Smulders, and Smulders gets Darilou in front of his leg straight away. Oh, and he's got the first fence down in that competitive approach. First fence goes for Darilou and for Harry Smulders. That's a bit of a disappointment. Not a bit of a disappointment, it's a big disappointment for Smulders. And a second one goes as he comes out of the double of Hoxers. The LGCT champion on 8 penalties. After Smulders, only 3 to go. And this individual session, that's a tall vertical, that Birch vertical. And Smulders makes it 71.32 and 8 the total. Start for Simon de Lestre on Crack de GZ. Crack, who is by Corbilfont and Nabab de Rêve. Steady. A little bit unbalanced coming into that double of Oxus. Crack de GZ. The 9-year-old handled it really well, drifts through the turn, gets over the vertical. Oh, and a little look just at the takeoff. De Lestre was already light and out of the saddle, and then some hesitation from Crack. De Lestre, though, is second behind, still pushing for the lead. He's lost a bit of ground in that second part, especially with the hesitation. De Lestre is home, and it's not the time of Stout, but it's fast, and French is 1 and 2. France 1 and 2 at the moment. And so Stout leads with De Lestre in second. What is the difference? It is a second and a half. It's 2 seconds and a half, in fact. Jean Sadran next. Cosmo van Hofterbonen. Steady 9. He's got quite a big stride, there's Cosmo. Could be too active in that line. Would have run past the distance. Nice turn, not a bad turn. Standard 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh! If she had pushed, she would have had the 8. Now it was, well, 8 3/4. The final stride was very tight and short. She's 3.5 seconds behind on the leading time of Kevin Stout. Still clear, nearly unbalanced there in the second part of that double. Sadran and Cosmo. Rolling back, 6 clears as we speak. Lynch the slowest in 73.76. There comes Jean Sadran, just over 70, and the last down. It is 70.82 and 4th place. Jean Sadran, Cosmo Hofterbonen. Straight in, and then she loses that balance. Oof. And just gets him through that combination. Strong riding, Jean Sadran. And then unlucky at the last. Last of the individuals is Jane Richard. Jane on a fairly new horse for her, Eclipse de Vesquerie, who is by Chaco Rouge and Verdi. Just to be sure, that is the French Verdi, not Verdi Tieno van der Vleuten, but the son of Narcos. Chaco Rouge is by Chaco Blue and Papillon Rouge. Squeeze there over the Liverpool. Had a look at the blue water underneath and then throws a bit over the upright. Jane well behind on the leading schedule of Kevin Stout. And so with the individuals behind us, Stout will remain leader. To be tough for the individuals to beat the time of Kevin Stout. So for the team riders, apologies. Don't think we'll see much quicker rounds. And 8 penalties the total, as Jane also has the last down, 77.52. Jane Richard éclipse de Vescurie. Teams are coming up as Jane Richard leaves the ring. Kevin Stout is the leader. Simon de Lestre sits in second with 3.5 seconds to spare. 2.5, apologies. The difference between Stout and de Lestre. Then Jochems, Houtzager, Duffy, Lynch, 6 clears. And then Kersten Sadran, who we just saw. And further down, Gaudiano, Ening and Vrieling on 4 penalties. Full rundown of the standings. Sanatese retired, so 17 have jumped. And now 14 teams in the first round of Global Champions League. 14 teams with 2 riders. As the entertainment kicks off here in Valkenswaard, to enjoy, to please and to entertain the crowds here in this Longines Tops International Arena. That's a very small bike for a very tall person. In the colours of the league, of course, in the colours of the Global Champions League, there's in-ring entertainment. Oi, don't fall over. That's what you get with small wheels. Stout and de Lestre, the 2 French in first and second, then the 2 Dutch with Kevin Jochems and Mark Houtzager. And now the 14 teams. To come in this 13th stage of Global Champions League. 15 stages in total. Rome next week, then the break before we head into Rabat for the final. And here, stage 13 will once again shuffle the deck of cards for both the championship and the race for top 4. Few minutes, ladies and gentlemen, before the start of the 13th stage of Global Champions League. Here we go. Stage 13 is coming up live in the Longines Tops International Arena in Valkenswaard.
waar je zwaait, de wind die door de bomen waait.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Valkenswaard, to the Longines Tops International Arena. Welcome to the Netherlands and welcome to the 13th stage of Global Champions League. That means that only Rome and Rabat are left to decide over who is going to win the 2024 trophy, the 2024 title. In a country famous and known for its flowers and its tulips, as well as its cheese. Well, they're also very well known for their top quality horses. The Dutch breds will come out in strong force over the course of this afternoon. Plenty of teams counting on their Dutch horses. As Global Champions League is going to kick off, here the previous winners. Remarkably, Valkenswaard United have never won on home ground. Can you believe that? So the two-time champions have never won on home ground. And now they are in a fight to secure a spot inside the top four of the championship. This is the standings. As you can see, Valkenswaard in fifth, 6 points behind on Riesenberg. If you look at the top, Canstars and Stockholm Hearts, that is 22 points that they are apart. At the bottom, less intensity, of course, with Warriors, last year's winners, moving up into top 8, and New York Empire moving away from the last place. That is now occupied by Monaco Aces, powered by Lion of Porches, that had a difficult run out in London due to an elimination in the first round. They did not score any points. Let's have a look at the course that Ujana Vezzani has built here for this Global Champions League stage. Lots of room to work with, 85 by 125 meters. And he starts us off at the cards, Oxer, the ace of spades at fence 1. 9 strides to Roelofsen horse trucks. A roll back to the bonsai trees. And then a related distance of 7 strides through the center, depending on the stride of your horse. And you have to move to the inside a bit more. 7 strides to Oxer, coming out of the double. Then you roll back to fence 5. And that's fence 5 after these 2 strides in the Global Champions League combinations. That rollback is a little bit odd. You can start your turn very early, but you have to wait quite long before you can actually end your turn. That fence itself is quite pivoted. It's not a straight line, as you can see here. It's going to be much more of a bend, so you can't jump that too early. You have to stay out and then get your 9 strides up to fence 6. If you want to be competitive, there's an 8-stride approach to the Staltop's gate, but in fairness, 9 is a very reasonable just as well. Now, what is it? Already 3rd rollback, if I'm right, is from 7 to 8. And then you come into the last sector, one could say. That's 7 strides into the triple combination of vertical, Oxer and vertical. 2 strides to come out of this combination. Very colorful. So lots of contrast in that fence. And that'll make the triple combination slightly easier to jump than when you have unicolor rails. Final line is after this rollback. It's 6 strides to fence 10. The tallest vertical on the course is this Birch Oxer at 11. And then there's an 8, a standard 8, but is there also an inside 7? I think so. To the final Oxer, Liverpool Oxer in the pink colors. And that is 13 right by Hospitality, 12 rather, right by Hospitality. So not the longest of courses in Global Champions League, 12 fences to be jumped. And this is the Spider with the starting order. Prague Lions, powered by Czech Equestrian Team, first to go, with FMS and Peter de Vos. The team still fighting for top 4. Another team fighting for top 4, currently in 3rd, Guéry and Pender for Doha Falcons. They are 2 points in front of Riesenbeck, 9 in front of Prague. Then, the runners-up in the championship, Stockholm Hearts, with Springsteen and Philippaerts, Cayman and Derby de Riverland. 14, powered by Clipmahorse.tv, Rome Gladiators with Carl Tim and Lorenzo de Luca. Carl Tim with Candormai on a great streak. Last week's winners, Istanbul Warriors, powered by Carpe Diem Equestrian Team with Sacha Lugard Lille and Olivier Robert. 6th is Manuel Fernandez Saro, the Spaniard, former Madrid in motion, and Mark Macaulay on a new horse on Furie Nocturne. Valkenswaard United, team in 5th and just points away from a safe place inside the top 4. United with Edwina Tops Alexander and Oliver Lazarus. Monaco Aces last in the standings, powered by Line of Porches, Ines Jolie and Luis Felipe de Azevedo. Then over to Mexico Amigos, Carlos Anguerrero alongside Francesco Turturiello, whose Jackal is going to jump his first ever meter 55 class. Then Can Stars, powered by Iron Dames. There they are, 10th team to go. The championship lead is a 22-point lead. We'll have seen the result of Stockholm by then. And so that'll give us already an indication about how this championship story is going to develop. 11th, Riesenbeck International, late to go. Schulze Topov and Weishaupt. New York Empire, powered by Lugano Diamonds with Scott Brash and Richard Vogel. And then 13th, Shanghai Swans with Kühner and Schweitzer, plenty of experience on that team. And last team to go, comfortable position, Scandinavian Vikings with Dovek and Henrik von Eckermann. 14 teams, lots to jump, but mainly a lot at stake. Championship race at stake, top 4 battle is also at stake, and you could wonder, so what is actually at stake for those teams outside of the, say, top 8? Well, the higher you finish at the end of the season, the more prize money you get for the championship standings. The higher you finish at the end of the season, the later you can go in the quarterfinal at the Super Cup in Riyadh. And we've seen already, we know already that it is favorable if you can start very late in that quarterfinal, so you can adjust your approach, your tactics to the results of the teams that have already jumped and have already gone. So many Iron Dames caps around here, plenty of 1-star and 2-star riders, young horse contenders also, but lots of women that bond with that Can Stars, that Iron Dames, that empowering women in the sport kind of feeling. Iron Dames actually with their own trade stand here on site. Let's focus not on the Can Stars, let's focus on the Prague Lions. They're powered by the Czech equestrian team. It's Fernando Martinez Sommer and it is Peter de Vos. The team in 6th and 7 points behind Riesenbeck. 1 win, 3 podiums. There's de Vos on Jarina. De Vos with the most clears for the team so far. That's 6. However, Jarina herself is 1 out of 4. Lady is 4 out of 7. Fernando Martinez Sommer getting her in front of his leg, trying to get a good rhythm. Couldn't find the groove yesterday, so wants to get that rhythm before the start. Here we go with the Lions. Steady 9 shows that well. More energy it seems today in Lady. 7 in, a touch deep. Comfortably out, swings her wide tail. That is always a good sign with Lady. Goes a touch wider, so you can get nice and straight. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And 9 again. There's an 8 approach in that line from 6 to 7. Rolls back to the oxen, goes quite wide, secures his approach, and he has the front rail. Front rail is gone for Fernando Martinez Sommer. Time allowed, by the way, is 80 seconds. And that rail, along with the ride of de Vos, could put Prague Lions behind on their rivals. And then I'm talking Valkenswaard, Riesenbeck, and maybe even Doha. Finish for Fernando Martinez. He is home on 4 in 76.46. That is 3.5 inside the time allowed. Fernando Martinez Sommer with Lady van de Harterhoeven. Here the rollback. Seemed that he had himself well organized, but she focuses fairly late. And then it's a touch deep. And I think that is because she was not focusing. She was maybe looking at the Rulosen fence behind it, but not at the Longines Oxen, at least from what I see on this replay. 4 penalties for Fernando Martinez Sommer. De Vos next with Jarina. There's his wife on the right, not of de Vos, but of Fernando Martinez Sommer, Maria Laguirre. De Vos with his chestnut mare. Oh, he has to wait at the end and sit back with his body as he really got too fast too early to the Rulosen upright. She has got quite a bit of stride, so nearly ran out of room in the combination. She ducked and bucked really well. Holzer might do 8 next. No, all secure, all on the 9. Goes even wider than Fernando Martinez Sommer. Seven in. Again, she has to be quick there with a large step. Holds it for 6. Rolls back, still unclear, De Vos. And up and over, and he's clear. Same time, more or less, as Fernando Martinez Sommer. Damage is controlled. Prague Lions finish on 4 penalties. 4 penalties in this first round.
Top 4 contenders, Prague Lions, powered by the Czech equestrian team, doing themselves a great job in the opening round of Global Champions League. A 4 for Fernando Martinez Sommer and a clear on the young Jarina. Outstanding from Peter De Vos. Find themselves on 4 penalties as a team. The pressure now moves to yet another top 4 contender, the Doha Falcons, who are next out the gates. If you want to join us here live in Valkenswaard from the Longines Tops International Arena for the rest of Global Champions League Round 1, sign up for your GCTV live pass right now and come and join us for the rest of the action. GCL Round 1 continues in Valkenswaard.